I just sent one normal message on Telegram.
I didn't enter airport codes, I didn't open a flight website, and I didn't manually compare anything. Behind this one message, an AI agent is finding the airports, converting them into airport codes, searching multiple flight options, comparing the prices, and automatically finding the cheapest flight for me.
And today we're building the complete system from scratch.
Now, if you've watched my previous flight agent tutorials, this might look familiar. But this isn't just another version with a few extra nodes.
This time we're solving the harder problem.
Instead of simply requesting flight data, we're building a workflow that can process the request, resolve the airport information, handle multiple items, make repeated API calls, compare the returned flights, and actually identify the cheapest option before sending the answer back to Telegram.
So we're moving from a basic flight search to an actual flight comparison agent. Imagine an AI agent that can book your flight just by reading a simple message. No apps, no forms, no back and forth clicking. You just type and it handles everything. And here's the best part. This agent works in 3 smart ways depending on how you ask. Let me show you.
Let's say you type a message in Telegram, something like, "What's the flight charge from New York to Miami on August 15th, 2026? The agent instantly recognizes this is a complete request. Origin, destination, and date are all there. So it triggers the lower part of the workflow, the direct path, and goes out, searches the flights, and comes right back with the exact price for that exact date. Boom, done. But here's where it gets really clever. Now, in the same message, you add one extra line. I'm flexible with the dates. That tiny sentence changes everything. The agent detects it, and instead of taking the direct path, it now triggers the upper part of the workflow, the flexible search. It takes your requested date, expands the search across nearby dates around it, compares all the prices, and then automatically picks the date with the cheapest fare. It sends you that message, the best date with the lowest price. Just like that. And finally, the third path, the smartest safety net. What if your message is missing something? Maybe no destination, no origin, or no date, anything incomplete. The agent notices the gap, and instead of guessing, it triggers the last part of the workflow, the clarification flow, and simply asks you for the missing information. What's your destination? Or which date are you looking at? It keeps the conversation going until it has everything it needs. At first glance, this workflow looks complicated, but don't look at it as 20 different nodes. Once we divide it like this, the whole system becomes much easier. Everything starts here with the Telegram trigger. This node listens for a new message sent to our Telegram bot, so Telegram becomes the interface for our agent. The person using it doesn't need access to n8n and doesn't need to understand the workflow. All they need to do is send a normal message. Find me a flight from Ottawa to London on September 20. That message is passed directly into our AI layer. This is where the first important transformation happens. The user gives us unstructured language. Cheapest flight, New York to Miami, August 15, 2026. But APIs don't want vague human language. They need predictable data. So instead of making the rest of our workflow guess what the user meant, we're using the AI model to understand the request first. I'm using Gemini here as the language model. And this parser is extremely important because it forces the output into the structure the next nodes expect.
Now we hit another problem. A flight API generally works much better with standardized airport identifiers than random city names. The user shouldn't have to know those codes. That's our agent's job.
So this section checks the data and sends the origin and destination through our airport lookup requests. One request resolves the origin. The other resolves the destination. Then we bring those results back together using the merge node. And this node extracts the airport codes we actually need.
Let's configure these nodes, and also, as I always give gifts to my viewers, I will add all these prompts and codes in a document, and that document you can find in description of this video. And also, I will send it separately to the one who will leave a comment. Please like and subscribe this channel. Your likes really motivate me to bring and share new tutorials. And also your subscription, likes and comments help grow this channel.
You'll also notice that I haven't assumed everything will always work. A good automation needs to know what to do when the required information isn't available. That's why we have conditional branches in the workflow. Instead of allowing the workflow to blindly continue with bad data, we can stop the process and return an appropriate message. Once we have valid airport information, we're finally ready to prepare the flight search. At this point, we know where we're leaving from, where we're going, and when we want to travel. But finding a flight isn't the goal. And that's where the most interesting part of this workflow begins. Instead of treating our search as one simple request, this part prepares the data so we can process multiple search items. Instead of treating our search as one simple request, this part prepares the data so we can process multiple search items, because we gave this agent the request to search the flexible dates. Those items enter loop over items. Instead of firing everything blindly at once, the loop lets us process the items systematically. Each item goes through the search process and gives us another piece of flight data. You'll notice something between the loop and our request: the wait node. Why deliberately slow down an automation? Because faster isn't always better. When you're making repeated requests to an external service, you need to respect how that service expects requests to arrive. So we're controlling the flow instead of just throwing every request at the API simultaneously. Now, each prepared item reaches our HTTP request. This is where our workflow leaves n8n, sends the flight search request to the external service, and waits for the result. And this response is exactly why beginners sometimes get overwhelmed with APIs. Look at this. We don't want to send all of this to Telegram. We only want the useful answer. So now we need to turn raw flight data into a decision. So that is why we will add only those parameters for what information we needed from the flight search. And this node is the reason I consider this workflow a real upgrade. Until this point, we have data. But data isn't the same thing as an answer. The workflow has to compare the available results, determine which one has the lowest price, and keep the information belonging to that flight. Now, we're no longer simply retrieving information. We're retrieving, comparing, and making a decision. Once the comparison finishes, we reach another decision point. If we have a valid flight result, we move toward the response. If we don't, we take the alternative path. This prevents the workflow from pretending it found something when it didn't. Technically, we could send the raw result directly to Telegram, but I don't want my user receiving this. So before the final message is sent, I'm using Gemini again. This time, Gemini isn't searching for the flight. The search has already happened. Gemini's job here is presentation. It takes the selected flight information and turns it into something a normal person can actually read. And finally, the formatted answer reaches our Telegram send message node. The same conversation that started the automation now receives the result. So from the user's perspective, all of this is hidden behind this.
Welcome back. Let's recap the power of what we just built, and that's the complete agent. Full workflow. We've built a robust system that handles the entire flight booking process autonomously. But the important part isn't just that we built a flight bot, it's the logic underneath that really matters. You now have a pattern you can reuse in other AI automations. Understand, resolve, search, compare, respond. You can replace flight data with another API and reuse the same architecture for completely different agents. From customer support to data analysis, the framework stays the same. That broadens the appeal beyond people specifically interested in flights. Now there's one more problem. Right now, I can use this agent, but what if I wanted other people to use it? That's the next step, turning this workflow from something running inside an n8n into an agent that other users can actually access. If you want that tutorial, subscribe to First Step AI because that's where we're going next. I'll see you in the next one.